Today, we have a team of even jersey numbers versus a team of odd jersey numbers. The team of even jersey numbers will be the Minnesota Vikings, and their roster will include players who wear an even numbered jersey at each position. As for the team of odd jersey numbers, they will be the Kansas City Chiefs, and their roster will include players who wear an odd numbered jersey at each position. But to add a twist to this video, each team will be allowed to bring in 4 former NFL players, 2 on offense and 2 on defense. Both teams will compete in a collection of challenges in minigames, practice mode, franchise mode, and a Super Bowl matchup to decide the winner. Starting with the best wide receiver in the NFL who wears an even numbered jersey, and that's Justin Jefferson. He wears the number 18, and he is currently ranked as the best wide receiver in the NFL right now. For the number 10, I had 2 choices, but I elected to bring in Tyreek Hill, and with the number 14, I had Stephon Diggs, and with the number 88, we have CeeDee Lamb. To make things a little bit more interesting, once a jersey number is taken, we can no longer use another player who rocks that number. Moving on to the running back position, we have our first former NFL player, and that's going to be Barry Sanders, who wore the number 20. Backing him up will be number 22, Derrick Henry. As for the fullback, Alec Ingold of the Dolphins wears a number 30. At tight end, we couldn't bring in Dallas Goedert since we already used the number 88, so Kyle Pitts and Dalton Schultz will be the tight ends on the team, knocking off the number 8 and 86 from the list. The offensive line includes number 78, Laramie Tunzel, number 56, Quentin Nelson, number 62, Jason Kelsey, number 70, Zach Martin, and number 58, Penei Sewell. As for the most important position on offense, we are bringing in another former NFL player, and that's Tom Brady, who wore the number 12 his entire career. And he will be our starting quarterback. Now, moving on to the defense, TJ Watt wears a number 90, and he'll be the starting left outside linebacker on this roster. Joining him at outside linebacker is number 0, Brian Burns. And before you say anything in the comments, the number 0 is technically an even number. I even asked Google. One of the 2 former players on defense will be Ray Lewis, who wore the number 52, and joining him will be Fred Warner, who wears the number 54. And with those 4 players, we knocked out a few more numbers off the list. As for the defensive ends, Max Crosby is the highest rated left end who wears a number 98. Chase Young will back him up, and number 40, Von Miller will be the starting right end. Number 50, Vita Vea, and number 94, Daron Payne will be the defensive tackles on this roster. Moving on to the secondary, and using our last former NFL player, we have Ronnie Lott, who wore the number 42, and he'll be the starting free safety on the roster. As for strong safeties, most wear an odd jersey number, but Marcus May wears a number 6, so he'll be joining the team. Patrick Surtain wears a number 2, and he's a 96 rated overall in Madden, and he'll be the starting cornerback on the roster. Joining him will be number 44, Marlon Humphrey, number 24, AJ Terrell, and number 32, Tyson Campbell. Next up is a team of odd jersey numbers, and they will be led by number 15, Patrick Mahomes, who will be the starting quarterback. And as for the receivers that he'll be throwing to, Calvin Johnson wore the number 81 with the Detroit Lions, and he'll be wide receiver number 1. I also elected to bring in AJ Brown with the number 11, Devontae Adams with the number 17, and Deebo Samuel with the number 19. And continuing with the tight ends, obviously we had to bring in Travis Kelce, who wears the number 87, and then we have George Kittle backing him up, who wears the number 85. And just like that, we knocked off some really important jersey numbers. Next up is the running backs, and we are using our second former NFL player, and that's going to be LaDainian Tomlinson, who wore the number 21, and backing him up is Christian McCaffrey, who wears the number 23. The only fullback that we could use was Reggie Gilliam, who wears the number 41. The offensive line includes number 71, Trent Williams, number 75, Joel Bitonio, number 77, Frank Ragnow, number 63, Chris Lindstrom, and number 65, Lane Johnson. As for the defense, Nick Bosa will be leading the way as he wears the number 97. Unfortunately, missing it on Micah Parsons since we already used the number 11. Joining Bosa on the defensive line is number 95, Myles Garrett, number 99, Aaron Donald, and number 93, Jonathan Allen, knocking off a few more numbers from the list. Using their first former player on defense, Nick Buckus wore the number 51 during his career, and he was one of the scariest players to play against. Joining him will be number 57, CJ Mosley, number 7, Hassan Reddick, and number 55, Logan Wilson. And finally, using the last former player, Richard Sherman will be the cornerback number 1. Joining him on the depth chart is number 5, Jalen Ramsey, number 1, Sauce Gardner, number 27, Trey White, and number 29, Kendall Fuller. Already used plenty of numbers from the list. And next up is a number 3 in Jesse Bates, who will be the starting free safety. And at strong safety, we have number 39, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Let's start with the passing skeleton minigame as our first challenge to see which team can get the most points. Starting with the team of odd jersey numbers, Patrick Mahomes started off with an absolute beam to Davante Adams for a touchdown. Mahomes continued to make some great plays, getting the multiplier up to 4, and then finding Calvin Johnson, who sneaks in for a touchdown. They already have over 2,000 points, and Mahomes is slinging it, this time to AJ Brown on an in route. A few plays later, Mahomes throws it to Adams, who gets absolutely lit up, dropping the ball, and the multiplier is reset. He was then able to rebound with a pass to Adams in the end zone. He kept throwing some nice passes, but the time was ticking. With 15 seconds left, Mahomes somehow found AJ Brown in the end zone, getting up to 6,000 points. With time about to expire, Mahomes threw a great pass over the middle to Calvin Johnson, and he sneaks in for the touchdown, and the team of odd jersey numbers finished with 9,213 points. Tom Brady and the rest of the even numbered jerseys are up next, and he finds Tyreek Hill underneath for a short gain. Brady continues to take his checkdowns on the next couple plays before finding Justin Jefferson on a zig route for a touchdown. Tom Brady was putting on a masterclass performance, making the right reads, and before you knew it, the multiplier was up to 8, and he hasn't missed a single pass yet. With about 10 seconds left on the clock, they were up to 15,000 points, and he found his favorite target once again. On the last attempt, Brady finds Stephon Diggs in the end zone, earning 21,656 points, which was a new high score. And the team of even jersey numbers win the first challenge of this competition. The next challenge is the punt return. The team of even jersey numbers will start for this one, and Tyreek Hill was able to pick up 10 yards before being body slammed to the ground. He followed that up with a nice gain right up the middle for 11 yards, and on his third and final attempt, Tyreek Hill tries to get around a couple of defenders but is tackled, picking up 12 yards for a total of 33 yards so far. 2 attempts left, and this time Barry Sanders gets his try, and on his first attempt, he goes right up the middle for 12 yards. On their last attempt, Barry is only able to pick up 9 yards for a grand total of 54 yards. LaDainian Tomlinson is up first for the team of odd jersey numbers, and he ends up falling forward and picking up 12 yards on his first attempt. On his second attempt, he only manages to pick up 9 yards, but on his third and final attempt, he's able to go straight up the middle and pick up 13 yards for a total of 34 yards so far. Calvin Johnson will take the next 2 attempts, and on his first attempt, he is able to find a hole to pick up 15 yards. He just needs 6 or more yards on his last attempt to help his team win this challenge, and on his last attempt, Megatron is able to find some room and pick up 12 yards for a total of 61 yards, which was good enough to win the punt return challenge, tying up the competition. Next up is the goal line phase challenge, where we have 3 receivers on both teams going one-on-one with the team's best corner. Patrick Mahomes and Calvin Johnson are up first for the team of odd jersey numbers, and he is able to beat Surtain and hang on to the ball in the end zone. On attempt number 2, Mahomes throws a beautiful pass and Calvin Johnson easily scores. AJ Brown is up next, and he is able to hang on to the pass for the touchdown. But on his second attempt, Patrick Surtain was all over him, and Brown failed to come down with it. Davante Adams is the last one up, and on his first attempt, he beats Patrick Surtain off the line, and he's able to come down with this, scoring their 4th touchdown so far. On their very last attempt, Surtain is able to swat the ball away before Adams can make the grab. They ended up finishing with 4 touchdowns on 6 attempts. We now have Tom Brady and Justin Jefferson up for the team of even jersey numbers, and on attempt number 1, Justin Jefferson is able to hang on to the pass from Brady for their first touchdown. On his second attempt, Jefferson beat Sherman off the line, but he was able to swat the ball away just in time. Tyreek Hill is up next, but he fails to hang on to the pass in the end zone. And then on his next attempt, Sherman was able to tip the ball up and make an incredible interception. Although the even team can't win this challenge, I wanted to see if Stephon Diggs could score, and on his first attempt, he wasn't able to get into the end zone, nor on his second. They ended up finishing with just 1 touchdown, and the team of odd jersey numbers end up winning the goal line phase challenge with 4 touchdowns. Next up, we have the franchise challenge. Whichever team makes it the furthest will win this challenge. And after simming the entire season, the team of odd jersey numbers finished undefeated, going 17-0, while the team of even jersey numbers finished 16-1. But luckily for both teams, they have a first round bye heading into the playoffs. And whichever team makes it deeper in the playoffs will win this challenge. Patrick Mahomes finished first in the NFL with 4,700 passing yards, 54 touchdowns, and just 1 interception, while Tom Brady threw for 4,200 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Both Barry Sanders and LaDainian Tomlinson dominated the NFL in every rushing category. Travis Kelce, AJ Brown, and Calvin Johnson had over 1,000 receiving yards for the team of odd jersey numbers, while Tyreek Hill and Jay Jettis were the only 2 receivers to have 1,000 receiving yards for the team of even jersey numbers. Simming right to the Super Bowl to see if either of the teams are still in the hunt, and it looks like they both are. It all comes down to this one game, and after simming, the winner is the team of even jersey numbers by a score of 46-45. and Patrick Mahomes was your NFL MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. The team of even jersey numbers win the franchise challenge as they ended up winning the Super Bowl, and now the competition is tied at 2. The final challenge is a Super Bowl matchup where we have Tom Brady leading the team of even jersey numbers going up against Patrick Mahomes and the rest of the odd jersey numbers. And the game starts off with Tom Brady throwing an absolute beauty of a pass to Justin Jefferson for a big gain. The drive quickly stalled out, and Mahomes has to try to lead his team from his own 3-yard line. Luckily, fullback Reggie Gilliam is able to give them some breathing room, and on the very next play, Mahomes hands it off to LaDainian Tomlinson, who breaks a tackle and takes off for a massive gain of 55 yards. A couple plays later, Vita Vea is able to sack Mahomes on 3rd down, and they ended up settling for a Justin Tucker field goal. Although the game continued to go back and forth, Mahomes was finally able to connect with Travis Kelce in the end zone to extend the lead to 10. The game was quickly getting away from the even numbered jerseys as Travis Kelce scores his 2nd touchdown of the game. Tom Brady was able to get his team into scoring position before handing it off to Alec Ingold, who leaps into the end zone, cutting the lead back down to 10. The second half started with another clinical drive by Mahomes, which ended up in 7 points thanks to Calvin Johnson. The game was getting out of hand with Tom Brady and the even jersey numbers down 26 with 5 minutes to go. And unfortunately, not even Tom Brady could make the comeback, and the team of odd jersey numbers end up winning the Super Bowl challenge, and more importantly, they win the entire competition by a score of 3 challenges to the even teams 2. If you enjoyed this video, YouTube thinks you'll like this one, and I do too. Definitely go check that one out.